This is the main problem that I see when you add when the way how they use their hips to be able to create power. In case that you don't know who I am, my name is Carlos Garcia. I'm a former professional baseball player for the Kansas City Royals and San Francisco Giants. And after playing 13 years of professional baseball all around the world and coaching for the last 4 years, all the way from the high school to the D1 college levels, this is what I think that from my perspective, most of you hitters are missing on their swing. First of all, we have to make sure that when we create our positive move, that's essentially when the magic happens. And what I see often from youth hitters, all the way from high school and college, is the sequence that they work with their hips to create their positive move, either when they're working with their coil, even when they're working with the sequence, when they about to rotate with their hips. But when they're working with their positive move, they often miss the way how to let the backside to lead that movement forward. So what I see more often than not, they're more dominant when the front side leading that movement forward, creating a problem with the sequence and the angles or the posture that they create when they get out launch, just because they like to create that movement, or they're more dominant creating this movement when they're front side. Essentially, the way how you want to create this positive move from your backside to be able to use your hips effectively, you want to be thinking that you want to screw your back heel into the ground, working around on that back leg, and while you start moving forward, creating that positive move, which that's essentially when the magic happens. That's when we start loading across our body, creating that front hip back shoulder separation that everyone talk about across your chest when your anterior oblique sling, creating that stretch and separation from that sling that you have across your chest. Is when we work with our positive move this way, and that only can happen when we start leading or creating that move on our backside. What I often see is when they creating this movement right here to start working toward the pitcher, they start working on the front side, which is really hard for them to be able to load the pelvis first, essentially opening and working with the positive move at the same time. And then the posture that they create with when their body is completely different, just because they haven't learned the ability to work separately with the lower back and upper half. As you can see here with Ohtani, he likes to create that movement when he get into his lunge position. As you can see, his hips are slightly closed, and when he's about to rotate, notice how the hips are working first while the shoulders are staying close. So they're working separately. They're not working on the same sequence. They're working separately to be able to create that stretch and that separation that we essentially look, or that we're essentially trying to create from the back shoulder to the front hip, to create that separation across your chest. That's why it's extremely important as an athlete, learn how to move across your body. We create these type of movements not only when we're hitting, we also create these movements when we throw a baseball, when we kick a soccer ball, when we do a bunch of action in multiple sports. It's a move that you can learn, but it's going to be so much harder, especially for you athletes, to learn and create the habit to move this way when they only rely on swinging a bat off the tee or during practice when everything is speed up and they just trying to think about like put a good swing to it, and there's not enough of time for them to digest and to just create the awareness to be able to move this way. Again, the back side is leading that movement forward. Notice too how his back elbow is working behind of the hands. He's not giving up his backside yet. He's letting his lower half to create that movement forward. And then after the hips are opening, that's when he start working on his upper half to be able to create more speed up to his body. From this angle too, you can see like the hips are going first and then he's following his upper half after. But from my perspective, the key and the most important move that if I would start training a freshman right now and create a movement that's going to help him to play at the next level, we have to master this movement first, even before we start talking or working on anything else. I like to start building the swing with your athlete, starting from the ground up, instead of start working on drills or exercises to start getting stronger, or working with some drill for their launch angle, yada yada. Like, there's so many drills that I see most hitting coaches and a lot of athletes, high school and college athletes, are working on when they're not capable to, on a regular basis, stabilize the lower half, create a repeatable move, or create consistency with the way how they control their body. And if they can't do that on the regular basis, it's gonna be really hard for them to create some sort of consistency with their swing path, with barrel accuracy, with direction. If they can't control that middle part of their body, starting from the ground up, to be able to, at the end, create a better direction and create more power with when their upper half. But the upper half cannot work when a right direction and gain speed yet, just because if you're not stable from the ground up, if you're not stable with your lower half first, and transfer all that speed of force and capture all that speed and force with your upper half, it's going to be really hard for your bat to cross the zone or to create a swing path in a good direction. If you have any questions about how to work with these type of movements, some drills or some cues that I used to work with my hitting coaches during my career, you can book a free consultation on the link down below. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you guys later.